Hey kids, hey parents. Before we get started in this video, there's just a few things that I want to talk about before you guys get into the training session. First things first is this is a goalkeeper video. There's a bunch of stuff that you guys can do. A lot of it requires a wall or someone else to pass with you, but realistically, as long as you get a ball in your hands, that's all you really need. Just the feeling of having a ball in your hands is something that, as a goalkeeper myself, it's just something that you steadily lose. So just having a ball in your hands gets you kind of comfortable with it. So even if these drills may not be doable, just going in your backyard and just throwing a ball against the ground and catching it, maybe having a ball in your hand, diving side to side, anything like that. Just getting a ball in your hands is one of the best things you can do as a goalkeeper, just to have a feel for the ball. Second thing is I have the luxury with where I live at an apartment complex of having a huge parking garage and having a lot of walls, and granted it's all concrete, but it's better than nothing. But with that being said, it will do some wear and tear to a ball. I don't recommend using a ball that is padded. If you have a lot of padding on the wall that you're passing against, or the concrete you're playing on, or whatever it may be, is going to tear up the ball pretty fine. Here's my ball. You can kind of see it was brand new when, well, not say brand new, but it was not in this kind of condition whenever I started using it. You can see right there's a lot of little tears on it. I've used it a couple times before out there, but not to the extent that I was using. So I recommend using an old ball and some older gloves. These were brand new. These gloves that I used, it was my mistake. I should have used my practice gloves, something like that. But I would use practice or older gloves. You can kind of see the tips. I don't know if you can see that, but are kind of torn up, and that's from the ball being torn. And maybe if hitting my fingers against the ground or something like that. Again, I was playing on concrete because that's all I've got is a concrete parking garage, and you guys will see that in the video. So I recommend using, an old ball, some old gloves. And if you are playing on concrete, like if that's something if that's all you got is a concrete wall and a concrete floor, one, it's better than nothing. But two, be careful out there. I almost slipped a few times with the being dusty out there. Dust on concrete doesn't really mesh well. So just be really careful. One, don't dive. I never had really the impulse, but I know when I was in high school, a couple times I dove when I was playing on hardwood floor or concrete, because it just kind of get in the moment. Don't dive. It's not safe, not going to be comfortable whatsoever. And be comfortable that you don't slip and fall, because again, that could, one, cause muscular injuries as well as just scrapes, burns, something like that. So don't do that. And last thing I'm going to talk about is, this is a goalkeeper video, so there's that, but this is all supplemental stuff that you should be doing on top of footwork stuff. Nothing is more important. I mean, it's good to have good hands, it's good to be stuff like that, but you need to be good with the ball at your feet as well. So maybe for your warm-up, or maybe for your cool down, or whatever it may be, put in some work on your first touch, work on your passing, work on touching from your right to your left, work on touching from your left to your right, work on your turns. If the ball gets played to you from the wall, work on turning. Imagine it's coming from your left back and you're going to turn to your right back and pass off to your right back, and vice versa, just like that. This is stuff that you should be working on as well. A goalkeeper needs to be good with their hands, needs to be good kicking the ball, needs to be really good with their feet as well. So this is just supplemental stuff that should be on top of the stuff that you're hopefully already doing for your team, that your coach is already making you do. So with that being said, get into the video. If anyone's got any questions, hopefully Jay or Renee or whoever your coach is, you guys can reach out to me. Yeah. All right. So first thing we want to do, before we start doing anything else, before we get a ball in our hands, before we do anything, we want to make sure that we are warming up effectively, and make sure that the body is nice and loose before we get into this. If you're on concrete, one, be very, very careful. Make sure that you're warming up. Get used to that concrete underneath you. But if you're on grass, still gonna be careful. You're probably gonna have studs on. But if you see here, stuff like shoulders, or stuff like arm circles, forwards, backwards, leg swing side to side. I won't do any in here, but do a dynamic warm up, stuff like high knees, karaoke, Iggy shuffle, whatever you can. Take about 5-10 minutes to warm up. And once you feel like your body is nice and warm, you can grab a ball. You'll see me here. I've got a ball just bouncing against the ground. Do that for maybe 30-40 seconds. I'm clearing out some stuff from under my feet right here. once you are pretty warmed up, your body's pretty warmed up, we're going to work on just getting the ball into our hands. So we throw the ball against the wall, catch it. If you don't have a wall, have a partner, have a parent, something like that. But it's just throwing the ball against the wall, getting the hands nice and warm, making sure that you're using proper form. So throw it high, throw it low, basket catch, and whatever else you need to get get your hands nice and warm. All right, what we're going to work on here is just loosening up the shoulders a little bit more. So we're going to work on some overhand throws. Work on that right arm. Really focus on getting a straight arm when you're throwing. We don't want a basketball, we don't want a baseball throw. It's not like a pitch or anything like that. So make sure you're kind of cocking that arm back and throwing. We want to do both arms, left and right. So here's my left arm right here. And it's just focused on getting that shoulder nice and loose, ready to go. Focus on good form. After that, we're going to work on warming up some of that thoracic spine, still warming up the shoulders. So do a couple throw-ins. Again, this is nothing like too hard, but it is still part of the warm-up. Do about 20 to 30 on each arm. Probably be a good way to go, alternating. After we get that done, we will work on kicking the ball against the wall. Now, this is really good for getting the hands nice and warm. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off pretty soft to make sure that we can make sure that our hands are getting warm. So start off nice and slow, and then gradually work our way harder and harder each time, make it a little bit more difficult. After we've warmed up the hands and the shoulders, we're going to warm up our feet next. So as you've got here, I'm a little off screen, sorry about that, but we're just working our feet up right here. So just passing the ball against the wall, getting a good first touch. The further away from the wall you stand, the easier it'll be. You can stand really, really close and do a little bit harder, or you can stand further away, do harder, again, working on your first touch. Okay, so the next thing we are going to work on is our from the ground picking up the ball. So if you see here, we're just going to put the ball on the ground, and I want us to pass it into the wall. When we step through, we're going to take a nice big long step. So if you watch right here, I've got a nice big long step, so I'm nice and low to that ground. That back leg is going to lower me to the ground, and I'm going to reach down and scoop that ball up. We're going to do this on both legs, so do about 20 on the right leg and 20 on the left leg. Really getting a feel for how that ball should be coming. So it's going to be coming towards us. We want to get nice and under that ball, nice and low, and scoop it up just like a basket catch. All right, so after we've finished the ball on the ground, now what we're going to do is work on kicking the ball a bit higher. So we'll back up a little bit, and I want us to kick the ball maybe 2-3 feet off the ground. So we're working on catching it in our stomach. We're going to work on that basket catch now. If for some reason you can't do this, like if this is just too difficult, or maybe there's a window around or anything like that, do it from the hands instead, and just get close enough to the wall to where I can underhand throw the ball into the wall, and I can catch it in a basket catch. So if you watch here, we'll kick the ball in, and we're going to do basket catch just like that. All right, so the next thing we're going to work on, still from the ground, is we're going to work on a diamond catch now, or that contour hand catch. So what we're going to do now is same thing. Ball's going to start from the ground, back up a little bit if you need to. We're going to kick the ball about 4 or 5 feet off the ground now, and I want it to come right at our face, as best we can at our face. Hey guys, one thing to note into this as well is you will notice when I do a lot of these that I know I'm saying basket catch, but it's coming to my face. I'm saying face and it's a basket catch or on the floor. If you make a mistake, just make sure that when you catch that ball, you're catching it with proper form again. So even if I say it to my face and I go to basket and it comes at my stomach, I'm still basket catching. I'm not trying to catch it in that contour catch or that diamond catch again. So just make sure you're always aware of your form. And if the ball doesn't come right at you, if it's coming to your left or if it's coming to your right, you'll notice how I'm shuffling my feet to get my body behind the ball. That's a big thing, is making sure that your body gets behind the ball when we're catching it. You don't want to just reach over and grab it, because if you reach over and mistime it or something like that and it goes through the hand, it's going to go in the goal. Versus if I get my body behind the ball, that means that the ball is not, it's going to very least hit me. So make sure that you're maintaining proper form, even if that's not what you meant to do. The next thing we're going to work on here is, if you see I've got cones set up. This is something that I've done with you guys plenty of times in practice. This is usually our warm-up drill that we do. It'll work better if you've got a parent or a friend or someone with you, but it will work just fine if it's just you. We just have to start with the ball in your hands. What we're going to do is we're going to do some kind of footwork through. So really be deliberate with this footwork. I want you to go through, focus on your footwork, and at the very end, take your time, but we're going to punt that ball against the wall again and work on a regular catch. It doesn't matter where the ball goes, whether it comes to your face, whether it's a basket catch, just focus on proper form. But the biggest thing here is I want us to focus on footwork through the cones. So, and we're not just going to do icky shuffle, not just going to do two-step over. I want you guys to think of other things that you can do through these cones. And I want it to be maybe 10 times for each thing. So icky shuffle starting with your right, icky shuffle starting with your left-hand side. Through the cones to a punt, we'll go 1 foot in each one, we'll go 2 foot in each, and at the very end, focus on that punt, but punt the ball against the wall and focus on a good catch. You can do basket catch, you can do at your face, just vary it up. So I've got a basket catch, I'm doing face catches. If you want to put a ball on the ground, you can kind of dribble through and pass the ball against the wall and focus on that low catch. It's whatever you guys want to do. Just do about 10, 15 to 20 of all of these different exercises, all right? All right, so in this one, we're going to kind of be doing the similar thing. As you can see, I've rotated the cones parallel to the wall. So this time, we're going to be on the left-hand side to start, or the right-hand side, it doesn't really matter. Doing something similar, so we're going to be going over the cones, 2 feet in each cone, punting the ball against the wall, catching, again, face catch, basket catch. You can put the ball on the ground on each side and kick it into it. And whatever you want to do. We'll also be going in and out of the cone, so forward and back. I'll do that here in a couple minutes. And again, just varying up what we're doing. Do about 15 to 20 of each of these, varying it up between on the ground, so we can do a low catch, varying up between doing a basket catch as well as a face catch, as well as doing the in and out, the 2 feet over, shuffling through, things of that nature. One thing that may make it a bit easier is I've grabbed a second ball. That way you can work on both sides at the same time rather than working all 10 on the left and then all 10 on the right. Using 2 balls will make this go by a bit quicker. Again, though, if you need to take your time, feel free to take your time with it. I want you guys to do about 15 to 20 to each side, but don't kill yourself. Don't do all 40 all at once. Do maybe a set of 10, take a break, set of 10, take a break. All right, so the last one that I'm gonna have you guys do is we're gonna take 2 cones and we're gonna spread them out, ideally about the length of a goal. I'm kind of limited here. I'm on the 5th floor of a parking garage. Don't want to put the ball too far away and run the risk of kicking the ball off of the 5th floor. There are houses on the other side, so yeah, I don't really want to hit a house. That'd be bad. So ideally what we want is about a goal's length away, and we're going to work on shuffling across goal. Now there's 2 ways we can do it. We can either do the normal shuffling technique like I'll do here, where you're just, as long as your feet don't touch, you're just shuffling across goal just like that. That's one way to get across goal, but the primary way that I've shown maybe some of the older girls is to more of a run across goal. So I believe I do it in this one here, where you kind of swivel your hips and it's more of a run across goal to get across goal as fast as possible. But we're going to work both sides. So I start with my left-hand side, but you're just going to work on running across goal, passing the ball in, and work on that catch, whether it be a basket, whether it be a face, whether it be a low catch. Ideally, I'd like to, again, do 10 of each, being the basket, low, or high catch. But right here, we really want to be focused on the technique of getting across goal. That's all I care about, is the footwork getting across goal. Be careful not to step on the cone, not to slip, anything like that. Now we're going to work on the other side. So again, it'd be 10 on the left-hand side, 10 on the right-hand side. So I'll come across, pass the ball against the wall, and work on a catch. That was a bad catch, but again, focusing on form. All right, so now that the goalkeeping training is all done, this is something that you can either do at the end of the goalkeeping training, or preferably at the beginning, actually. Again, I said in the beginning of this video that, nothing beats doing goalkeeper training, hitting the ball against the wall for being a goalkeeper, for a goalkeeper training. But this is all supplemental stuff. You still need to know how to be a soccer player. So nothing beats just going in the backyard, going in your front, or whatever it is, going in, juggling, passing a ball against the wall, passing a ball with your parents, something like that. This is stuff that you still need to work on. Just because you are a goalkeeper doesn't mean you shouldn't have good feet. That is a huge thing about being a goalkeeper. So still go ahead and go and do your passing against the wall, do your juggling, do your dribbling through cones. Work on your feet. This is stuff that you shouldn't have to have a coach tell you what to do. This is stuff that's still really, really good for you guys to know how to do.